All right, here we are. Oh, I'm still spiking. I already messed up because I needed a thing and then I don't have it. So now I gotta get up. This will all make sense in a moment. All right, let's start from the top. Recently, if you've been watching the last few videos that I've done, I have invested in some Sony camera-centric microphones that specifically tie into the multi-interface port, or the hot shoe, if you will, on the Sony camera system. So there are microphones, which is right here. There are a series of microphones, either a shotgun mic or this wireless solution, that connect directly into the multi-interface port, which provides digital audio to the camera, which means you're not plugging in a 3.5 millimeter audio wire and a microphone into the camera. You get direct audio. And then I noticed that there was a solution for wireless audio, and I thought, wow, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So I got this on sale on eBay because Amazon was running a sale. I think this thing typically retails for about $230, $228. There was a sale on Amazon that I missed by a day because I was debating on whether or not I wanted to buy this, and it was around $175. But I held off because I'm like, do I really need this thing? And if you really go back and look at my old videos, you'll know that I have purchased a Comica wireless microphone system, and again, that goes into the 3.5 millimeter jack. It has a receiver, but it comes with two microphones. I ran into a lot of problems with that thing, and I didn't particularly care for the audio. So Sony came out with this solution. I've been very impressed with the other Sony shotgun digital microphones that I've used with my camera. I've been very happy with them. One of the lesser models, or the one lesser model that I do have, does have a bit of a hiss. So that was my primary objective, was to use that microphone with my portable Sony A7C setup that I have going on. Because of the hiss, I started to have some second guessing. I used that setup in my lentil soup video because I've never really done a cooking video before, and yeah, I get that it probably looked terrible, but I used that setup, the A7C, the 28 to 200 millimeter lens, and I kept the camera pretty far back so I can actually get a full view of what I was doing in the kitchen. So I used that, and I noticed that the audio wasn't great, and it would have been nice to have something that was probably closer, which means a lav mic or a wireless mic. So what is this thing exactly? It is the ECM, and all of the Sony microphones start with that ECM. It is the ECM-W2BT. The BT means Bluetooth, and that's how this connects to the receiver that's on the top of the camera. Here's the box. Small, nothing fancy in there. Comes with a pouch. It comes with a 3.5 millimeter jack that I assume would be used for cameras that don't have a Sony multi-interface port. I suppose you can still use the microphone for non-Sony products, but you have to plug it in like any other wireless mic system. And we'll see if this is any better than any of the other wireless mic systems. Although I say that, I only have the Comica. I don't have the Rode, and I think there's another one floating around. There's a Rode version 1, version 2. And I think DJI has a wireless microphone setup too. But I have the Comica, I have this thing, and then I have some of those other multi-digital interface ports. So let's see if this thing's good. The audio signal sound, like, it's very, very strong. In fact, I'm peaking. It's probably going to be a problem. So right now, if I'm doing it over here, I have this set to -10 decibels. And it is very, very strong. I initially, when I turned it on, was at 0, which should theoretically be the loudest option, the way these Sony microphones work. Like the 10 and the 20 should be negative decibels, not positive. So, and I'm fairly far away from this, so I'm going to drop this down to 20. All right, how about now? Okay, so I can definitely see that the signal is like in the safety zone here. I'm going to put it back. How about now? How are we doing? All right, we're in the middle, so I suspect that this is probably, I don't think this is probably going to sound so great, but the other option, oh, okay. I mean, we'll see. Right? This is going to be really interesting to see how this all sounds. But this is at -20. Even with the shotgun mic, -20 was too low. So I'm really curious to see the strength of this. One of the problems that I had with the Comica mics is that they didn't sound good clipped around this area of the body. So when I was testing them, I kind of had to put them up like this. Now the Comica, just like this Sony microphone, gives you the option to plug in a lavalier mic on top of this receiver, so you could theoretically plug this piece into your belt and then run a lav mic up. And I do have a Sony lav mic that was fairly cheap. It was like $29, and I'm going to try that too. I don't have a lot of good luck with lavs. They always sound terrible with me. They sound muffled. They pick up all of the wrong sounds. So I typically shy away from using them due to sheer aggravation. But this just seemed, from some of the videos that I've seen on YouTube, this seems like it might be a better solution. But one of the things that are interesting, one of the tests that I want to do, while the distance in a straight line, in a clean straight line where the receiver and the microphone can, I'm going to use the term, see each other, there's no obstacles, I've noticed that a straight clean line, you get a lot of distance. But if you go behind like a wall or something like that, even if you're within the, and it says the distance that you can have here is about 600 feet or 200 meters for those of you that are in Europe. So it says 600 feet, but I suspect if you go behind a wall, based on some of the videos that I've seen or something like that, you may run into a problem. So let's kind of do that test right now. I'm going to get up. Right behind me is the staircase going up the stairs. So I'm going to walk off frame. I'm going to go up the stairs. So I'm going to have a wall between us, right? And I'm going to just keep testing the audio signal as we go along and see where it cuts out. Maybe we'll have a little chat with my wife, who I suspect is sitting on the couch right above me. So, you know, let's see what happens here. So first things first, going up the stairs. There's a wall between us and the camera. Now I've completed the flight of stairs. I am walking away from the basement, and now I am getting close to my wife, who is, as I predicted, sitting on the couch. So this is at -20 decibel levels, which is fairly low.
Okay.
What I'm going to do now, and it's probably going to pick up some sound, we're going to jack this up to 10 decibel levels. And for those of you that are actually watching this and listening, this is at -10 decibel levels. So if you're keeping this going, let's see how this goes. Allison, talk to me.
Hello, Joe.
Really?
How's your test of your microphone going?
Well, I don't know. We're gonna see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
how far is it supposed to go?
600 feet, but there's a lot of debate on if the receiver is not within like no obstacles, how it performs. Straight lines, it seems to do quite well. But also, I should add that I'm probably standing directly above the camera right now.
That's true.
Right, I'm probably right in that camera area.
Right.
So again, this is -10. We're going to go down to 0 decibels, which should be the strongest, loudest signal, which directly in front of the camera, this was peaking. Now we're at basically 0 power reduction.
Okay.
Continue to talk, Allison.
So in theory, the stairs could have caused a bit of a problem due to obstacles.
Well, stairs, walls, floors, right, all of it, carpets.
Everything.
Everything, right? Everything is a potential obstacle because this is operating on Bluetooth.
Right.
Now I'm going to walk towards the front of the house. And typically, this is going to be interesting because typically when I'm on my headset for work, if I go to this point in the house, it doesn't work. It cuts out right here. So I cannot cross the threshold of the home. There we are. Now I'm going to go back downstairs with my -10 decibel levels. We're going to see if we disconnected or whatever. Okay, here I am with the lav mic turned on. It's like right here. Right here, right here. All right, hold on. So, as I mentioned before, me and lav mics usually don't get along. Let me see what the setting is. I actually have the microphone, the wireless mic, attached to my belt. and I have the lav mic snaked through my shirt. And I think that it looks, look at that. I don't know, it's hard to tell on the screen, but it looks fairly clean. But let's see what the minus dB level is here. This is at -10. So what happens if I drop it down? So this is -20. Oh, so that definitely looks really low. But you know, if I'm talking in a video like this and I'm having a normal conversation, it's in the middle. It is definitely probably going to be too low. Let me go back up to, you know, let me do -0. So at -0, oh, it's spiking already. It is interesting that the left and the right are definitely not synced. It's not a clean, even signal. So if this is recording in stereo sound, there's going to be a difference. So that is going to be interesting. But again, there's a left and right side to the lav mic, so I guess that makes sense. But this is probably super loud. So like Goldilocks, the sweet spot is probably in the middle. Again, -10 with this particular device. So lav mic, yeah, that seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let's test out a couple of things now here down in the basement. I'm going to reattach this clip to my belt. I don't know if I want to like keep doing, ooh, that spiked even at the -10. I don't know if I want to keep doing stuff with the lav mic. Again, I don't like lav mics, but so far at least the signal looks good. But I don't like that it's not consistent with the left and right channel. So I figured I was going to like walk around. I was going to do sort of like a straight shot out into the backyard. So I was going to leave the camera inside the house, just walk straight into the backyard and see how long it takes for this thing to fizzle, or if I can hit the backyard. So I'm going to take the lav mic off, and I'm going to reposition the camera. I'm going to just basically turn it around, and I'm going to go out my sliding glass door. Okay. So you see that white blob in the center? Hold on, I'm going to see if my finger, right there. That's just the table that we have a cover on. So I'm going to walk past out there because I don't think this is going to look super great. I probably should have got the zoom lens, but whatever. Okay, so this is at -10 decibel levels. I'm going to walk out that door. I'm going to go all the way to the back of the backyard, past that table, and I'm going to see if this thing works. I'm also going to turn my back to the camera because apparently that was a thing in some of the videos that I saw. So also, I was going to tilt the camera up, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm going to go out the door. Talking right now, opening the door. I'm going to shut the door. That's going to be an interesting test. Well, I can actually see through the window and I can see that the audio is, it's still connecting, so that's interesting. Okay, so back turned, walking past to the front of the table. And again, I'm going to test it right here. Actually, you know what? I have a measuring tape. So from the tripod to the door is just about 8 feet. 8 feet out of potentially 600. That probably sounded terrible. All right. This tape measure is only 12 feet long. So this is, so the end of my patio is another 9 feet. So 8 plus 9, so that's 17 feet. All right, so this is basically 12 feet. 17. So 29 feet to the table. So that's another 12 feet. So that's 41 feet right here. Probably take it to about 45, and then down to the fire pit, and you probably won't be able to see me over here. But now I'm at the end of my backyard, and that's 55 feet. 55 feet. Let's see if this microphone is still working at 55 feet. Well, it's probably about, this is probably about 40 feet right here, and you probably could see me right here. So this is probably a good time. Oh, I am spiking my audio. This is definitely, in this particular configuration, I probably should not even be at -10. I should probably be at -20, this close to my face and my mouth. Let's see if any of this is any good. Let's see if it sounds good, and then we'll do more tests. Okay, so it's the next day, and yes, I'm wearing the same shirt because I feel like it gives me opportunities to like attach things more, because there's the pocket right here and it covers up. So Right now I have the microphone set to -10 decibel levels. I have it slightly positioned closer to my face, so I figured with a normal like lavalier setup or a portable mic setup, it would probably be on the collar of your shirt. So that's where it is right now. So it's a little bit further up, and I just wanted to see what that would do. I am noticing as I'm talking to the camera that it is spiking and it's going red. But based on yesterday's tests and all of the video footage that I watched, the going to zero, a flat zero, is probably a non-starter. It redlines constantly. It sounded terrible. When I did my journey across the house, when I bumped the audio up to zero, it was, and I said -0, and I shouldn't have because that just sounds stupid. But when I bumped it to zero, it just sounded awful. It just sounded so completely washed out. I have it at -10. -10 consistently sounded the best. There was a little bit of peaking happening throughout the experimentation, but the -20 just sounded too low. However, there is a noticeable hiss at -10 and 0 decibel levels. That hiss effectively goes away at -20. I am going to drop this to -20 right now just to see how it sounds a little bit closer to my mouth. So here we are at a -20 decibel level. The microphone is closer to my face. I am making a test to see if this audio sounds better, less hissy, whatever it may be. I've been talking to the camera for something that I may use for a different video, and I have to say, as I've been monologuing to myself, the audio has been looking pretty healthy and strong where the microphone's positioned right now, again at -20 decibels. Another thing that I noticed when I reviewed the footage yesterday, when I held the receiver like a microphone, the audio sounded really good at -10. So I'm going to do that for -10 and 22. I don't think it's wise to hold the receiver. I think you're going to get a lot of distortion as your hand moves. Right now the receiver is set to -20. So again, I don't know if this is going to sound better or worse, but -20 decibels, handheld, the receiver standalone. I wonder how this sounds. I wonder how this sounds. I wonder how this sounds. Now I'm going to switch it to -10 decibels. At -10 decibels, we're also testing it out. I'm also noticing with the audio monitors that this thing is already starting to redline. So we'll see. We'll see how that performs, and maybe in the hand, -20 is the way to go, because you're pointing the microphone that's physically built into the receiver at your mouth better. So maybe it picks it up, and you don't have that unfortunate hissing noise that is occurring at the -10 and 0 decibel levels. But again, this is at -10, and that's probably going to make it sound just moving it in my hand. And this is -20. This is -20. This is -20. For giggles, let's do 0 and see how bad that sounds. So this is at 0. Oh, and it's peaking already. It's just peaking. So 0 decibel levels. I don't think this is a good option. So, yeah. There's two more tests that I want to do. I want to put the lav mic. I want to connect the lav mic again and put it in the same position, because I did notice that the lav didn't sound great yesterday. But again, if I position it on my collar, I just want to see if that sounds any better. I'm actually going to do it here, and then I'm going to do it here. And I'll test it at the -10, and I'll test it at the -20. Okay, so now I have the lav mic plugged in right here. The lav mic is plugged in. It's in a slightly different position, and this is at -20 decibel levels. I can see that the decibels, or I can see that the audio, the sound levels that are on the screen, this looks like it's about in the middle. It looks weak. So -20 decibel levels, lav mic in a slightly different position. -10 decibels, same position, testing this as well. The audio strength looks better. And I also noticed that I twisted the lav mic so it wasn't in a vertical position, it was in a horizontal position. And I'm noticing that the audio levels, left and right channels, they look even now. So it's sensitive enough that if it's in a vertical versus a horizontal position, it definitely changes the way that it's picking up the audio, which makes sense, I suppose. For the sake of testing, let's also do 0 as well. This is at 0. It's peaking already, I can see that. So I suspect that this is going to sound washed out. It's probably going to sound staticky when it starts to peak. So 0 decibel level. This is the most powerful, most boosted audio signal, and I suspect that this is probably going to be the most frazzled and unappealing of the selections. I'm going to reposition the lav mic to like right here. That's the reason why I use this again. I'm going to reposition right here to see if that changes anything. -10 with the lav mic connected to a collar. Now this is an unusual position because you might not have a position like this on an article of clothing, right? One would assume you're wearing a shirt or a t-shirt with a standard collar. You might not have something that pops up. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to capture audio, if it's going to grab it better or not. This is also set to -10 decibel levels. Dropping to 20 decibel levels, and again I can see that this is definitely in the middle, but probably the cleanest audio of the two options, or of the three options. So I could go into post, and I haven't done this in any of the video, and I will not do this in the video. I most likely can go into post, and I could probably bump the audio levels for -20 and get a cleaner sound because this is picking up less background noise. There's one last thing that I want to do. This receiver and microphone combination, there's another setting. There's a microphone that's built into the receiver that goes on top of the camera. And the intention is that if you're having a conversation with someone, it would pick up the audio from the person behind the camera as well. That's a nice feature. I didn't test it yesterday. Let's do that today. I'm also going to take the lav mic off. So this is a test of the microphone that is on the receiver that mounts to the camera in the hot shoe port. There is the microphone, the portable mic. I have it shut off right now. So I'm definitely picking up audio. And it's going to be interesting to see how it sounds. I'm in front of the camera right now. I'm going to go behind the camera to see if that sounds stronger, better, clearer. I assume the intention is for someone behind the camera and not necessarily in the front. But let's see how that sounds. I am now behind the camera, and I'm talking in a somewhat lower speaking voice than I normally would. I wonder how this sounds. Does it sound delightful? Does it sound terrible? Let's find out. So there's another interesting setting for this microphone, receiver, and portable set. You can do a mix between the audio in the back, or the audio that's on the receiver for the camera and the portable unit. You can do a mix of the audio, and I'm testing that out right now. So this is the mix between the microphone that's built onto the receiver unit on the camera and the wireless unit. The audio looks a little bit healthier. It's not spiking, so I'm guessing that it's sort of this blended. It might actually take something out, but I'm also going to guess, and I'll put like if I'm here, like if I'm right here, I'm going to guess that there's more background noise that's going to get picked up. So if I was detecting a hiss at -10 decibel levels on the portable microphone, wireless microphone piece alone, I suspect it'll probably be worse with the mounted microphone unit in the blended audio. So my final thoughts at the moment for the ECM-W2BT wireless microphone unit for Sony. I like the receiver unit on top of the camera. It's less conspicuous, so it just looks like you're using a normal camera versus, I've used this term before, like the Casey Neistat rig. So if you're walking around with the camera, a big microphone on the top, and you have some kind of handle or like portable tripod, it stands out a lot, and I think it's a little, I don't want to stand out when I'm taking my videos. I'm self-conscious about it. I don't think that a 40-year-old plus man should be walking around looking like that. I think you look foolish. So I'd rather not look foolish. In my tests yesterday, the shotgun mic solutions generally sound better. But that's the point of today's test. I'm hoping that repositioning the microphone, repositioning the lav mic, messing with the blend you might get something that's a little more appealing, a little less hissy. We'll see. But in general, I like the idea of this. I'm genuinely hoping that I can resolve and get a little bit better audio than the other unit. So I have two shotgun Sony mics right now. One is the ECM B1M, and then the other one has a really ridiculous name. It's a cheaper of the two units. It doesn't have any controls on board. The microphone, which but you can kind of position the microphones like this. It's got like a really ridiculously long model name, but I'll post it here. The ECM-B1M, that thing sounds great. I've been doing all of my videos recently with that. I'm very, very happy with that particular unit, even though it's ridiculously expensive for what it is. So I'm hoping that this one, because it looks less conspicuous and it actually takes up less space in my bag, for a portable option, I would really prefer to use this if I can get the audio where I want it to be. So that's where I'm at now. I'm gonna end this video. I plan to take this microphone and camera setup with me on a trip in a couple of weeks, and I'll provide some additional thoughts on the microphone and the camera and all of those things after that. I hope this was useful to you if you're planning on purchasing this microphone. I tried to do a little bit more testing than I've seen in the review videos that are available on YouTube right now. So I've taken it around the house, I've done a couple of the other options, and I hope it helps you make a decision on whether or not you want to spend $176 to $230 on this particular microphone. So good luck with whatever projects you're working on, and thank you for watching.